Today, 24 high school girls soccer teams across 3 classifications took the field for the first round of the state tournament. And boy, did we have some great matchups. Let's start in Class 3A with top-seeded Valley taking on Muscatine. Game tied at 1-1 in the first half. Valley on the corner kick, the header unsuccessful, and Anna Van Weidgarn with a chance to finish it off, but the keeper falls on it and prevents the goal. However, she would not be denied. Down to just a few minutes left before the half, the kick is up, and Van Weidgarn pokes it through to take the lead, and the Tigers will move on to the semifinals with a 3-1 win over the Muskies. Our next bout featured Council Bluffs Lincoln and Dowling Catholic. Now this one was a stalemate for the entire first half. Both teams had chances to score but couldn't quite execute. But eventually Council Bluffs was able to get their offense going in the second half. All 3 of their goals actually came in that half, and they hang on to get the shutout win over Dowling Catholic. Let's head over to the 4-5 matchup between Centennial and Northwest. In this game, tied at 1, the Jaguars find an opening. The ball is deflected off a Northwest player, but Ava Martin puts it in the back of the net. And Centennial takes a 2-1 lead, and they are able to hold off Northwest for the win and claim their spot in the semifinals, where they'll face Valley. And in the final match of the day in Class 3A, Ankeny going down to the wire with Pleasant Valley. This game was scoreless with about 5 minutes left in the game. And Ankeny's Avery Matthews sees an empty goal and takes advantage. She executes this perfectly and scores the go-ahead goal. The Hawkettes avoid the upset and are moving on to the semifinals, where they will face Council Bluffs Lincoln. And these were just the late afternoon games. Classes 1A and 2A had the early games, and Colin Cahill recaps all the action from those quarterfinal matchups.
Day 1 of the girls' state soccer tournament got kicked off this morning with 4 teams hitting the pitch in Class 1A and 2A. Plenty of fans on hand for the first day of the state tournament. Let's get going in Class 1A. Des Moines Christian taking on the first-timer in Van Meter. Bulldogs down 1, needing a goal. How about Eden Moore? Gets behind the defense, but she clanks it off the goalposts. Tough one there, and the Lions, they take advantage. Jenna Roberts gets behind the defense, and she doesn't miss. 2-0 Lions in the second half. Bulldogs, they needed a spark. How about Katie Lindsay from downtown? This one's going to squeak through the legs of the goalie, and it's into the back of the net, but just too much Lions, though. Des Moines Christian moves on to the semifinals.
We want to work together, and we want to work as a family and work together rather than each individual person trying to get a goal. I think the biggest goal for us is working as a team rather than each individual goal that we had.
Other early game today, Nevada taking on Bishop HEELAN. This one was a nail-biter all the way through. Cubs had some opportunities early, though, just nothing going for them in the first half. Nevada would add a goal early in the second, but pressure came on a penalty kick for Bishop HEELAN. How about the absolute ball by MADDIE DUNHAM? She stones her. That would be the decider as well. The Cubs go on to win this one. They're headed to the semifinals.
I held my breath the whole time, and then as soon as I saved it, the release, and it was so exciting. And the one thing that helps me though is that we practice them every single day in practice, and that helped calm my nerves. And then when I saw where her foot planted, I knew exactly where she was going, so that's how I saved it.
In Class 2A, the top-ranked Mustangs of DCG taking on North Polk. Mustangs were all around the net early, but nothing going. They finally get one to go. Avery Korshing behind the defense. This one's just too easy. That makes it 1-0. Then it's a scrum around the net, and it's Kaylin Mills. She buries one home to make it 2-0 in the first. The Mustangs would roll in round 1. 5-0 win. Undefeated team hitting its stride.
Honest, in the middle of it, we were kind of going downhill, but at the end of the season, our last couple of games, we've really been as a team and positive, and that's really driven us to where we are now, and being 17-0 and being in the position of playing the semifinals. So.
And the last of the early games, Norwalk and Lewis Central. The Warriors, they didn't have many opportunities in the first half, and this one just goes wide. Lewis Central, they had all of the momentum after this rocket that ends up in the back of the net, but the second half, just a different story, and that's all thanks to JoJo Bice. She's going to go off for a hat trick that included this one-timer. Warriors looked the part in the second, and they win this one 2-1.
Halftime, we were just this is not how we want our season to end, and we know we're better than this. We were just booing the ball, not connecting, not playing how we had worked on playing this whole entire season. Second half, we switched it around, and we finally started playing how we knew we could play.
4 teams from our area moving on, and they will all play in the semifinal rounds this Thursday. From County Soccer Park, Colin Cahill, Local 5 Sports.